Welcome back to Access Anime. I'm Henshin Ikeda, and today I'll be doing a review and walkthrough of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Episode 3. Now, if you remember from last episode, Dio and JoJo are back at the Joestar Mansion, and JoJo, he's got the evidence to pretty much lock up Dio. We also find out the stone mask, what it was capable of, turning people into vampire. And the only person right now that actually knows about that is Dio, although it was JoJo's little research project, since he's an archaeologist, I guess he didn't really knew what the mask's full potential was, but he will soon. So let's just dive right into this episode. Now, I'll keep my comment and my ratings at the end of this clip, so stay tuned. Okay, but let's jump right in. Now, we open up this episode again with Dio and JoJo in the Joestar Mansion, and I kind of like this. We left off exactly what we happened at last episode, so no surprise where we're at now. Now, this is what I thought was kind of not bright of JoJo when we open up this episode. He's like, Dio, I got the evidence. I was like, okay, so you don't have the police, you don't have your dad, did you tell anyone? Why would you ever tell the villain you have all this evidence and expect them not to try to kill you? Thank God this episode was better than what I thought it would be. He called the cops, they're in the room, his dad is up to date, he's been given the antidote. I'm like, okay, this kid is smart. I wasn't going to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I'm glad he smartened up and went straight to the authorities instead of just springing this crap on Dio. Because we know Dio. Right now, Dio's a piece of crap. He's scum. He'll try anything to kill you. Now, they also find the Chinaman that had the poison, I guess. That's how they were able to get the antidote. And apparently he's going to be a witness. Now, surprisingly, we find out an interesting background story to Mr. Joestar and Dio Brandy. Dio's father. Now, apparently, Dio's father was arrested, and he stole JoJo's mother's ring. And again, remember, JoJo's dad, Mr. Joestar, he always assumed that Dio's father was the one that saved them, even though that wasn't true. Apparently, he knew that Dio's father stole the ring of his wife, and all of this, he was a villain. And apparently Dio's father was in jail, and Mr. Joestar, along with one of the soon-to-be police officers at the time, were about to convict him. He's like, this is the guy who stole your wife's ring. He's like, I know. Judging by how he was brought up and his situation, I would have done the same thing for my family. He takes his wife's ring, gives it to him, and all charges were dropped against Dio's father. So this whole time, JoJo's dad knew the truth about Dio's father, how he was a scum and everything, but he based all of this off of a bad situation. It's like, you know what? Everyone would have been like this if they started out with nothing and they had to live off the streets. I'm like, okay, so Mr. Joestar is a really nice guy. He was really nice. He was going to give Dio a chance to be different from his father. Yeah, that went down the chimney. I should say down the toilet, literally, because you know what? Dio became a total psychopath like his father. He was a drunkard. Nothing changed. Now, just when we think it couldn't get any worse, it gets worse. Dio, just when he's about to be cuffed by, I guess the police officers, talks to, JoJo and says, cuff me, I'm ready to repent and whatnot. I'm like, oh wow, this is full of crap. And then you see JoJo's dad leaving. It's like, I don't want to see my other son get arrested, so you take care of it, JoJo. And just when his back's turned, you see JoJo ready to cuff Dio. Dio is ready to repent, pulls a knife, does the mask thing, pulls out the stone mask, stabs JoJo's father, and I was like, I didn't see this coming. I thought JoJo's dad might have stood a chance of living to see the next episode or something. Oh no. Dio, he stabs Mr. Joestar in the back, so now he's dying pretty much. Takes the blood, puts it on the stone mask, and transforms into a vampire. Just enough where the police officers are now in the room shooting at him, and it looks like he's dead, and I'm like, yes, he's dead. The mask didn't work. I was wrong. The mask does work. And you see Mr. Joestar now on his deathbed, gives JoJo his, I guess JoJo notices a ring on his father's hand, and he's like, yeah, that was your mother's ring. I'm guessing that's either his wedding band or his wife's wedding band. I was a little confused because I know there's two wedding bands in this episode. You see the one that Dio's father stole, which is the one JoJo's father ended up giving to Dio's father, yet he still had his own on, so I'm assuming this was his wedding band. And we don't really get a lot of background story into that. We just notice he's got the ring on, and he's about to die, and he tells JoJo, let it be, don't hold any of this crap, don't let it in, you know. He was just like a father and son moment. I'm like, then you hear him say, you know, it's nice to die in like my son's hands. And I was kind of like, wow, you're dying, and you're giving respect to your son, even though you're dying. You're saying, if I'm gonna die, at least I know I'm dying in someone's hands that cares for me. I'm like, this is what gave me a positive feel about this episode. Not so much as, you know, battle scenes, because there wasn't a lot of battling in this episode, but it was just there. I should also point out, Speedwagon, he shows in a second appearance. This is his appearance in this episode. He was the one with the police officers. He was checking Dio out before he put on the stone mask. He's like, I call bull. This is Speedwagon. I'm putting this in my own words. He's like, I call bull. I was raised on the hardest streets of London. I call bull. I'm like, wow. So now Speedwagon is 100% on JoJo's side. I hope they become really good friends in this series, because he's a really good friend to have. And I mean it. He is a great friend to have in this series. But anyways, he calls bull on Dio when Dio is trying to repent. Because he did notice about pull the dagger out type of thing. And again, Speedwagon called BS on Dio. So Dio's screwed now. He can't lie his teeth out. He can't lie his way out of anything now. But I digress. We see Dio now outside. Looks like he's dead, and you know, see the police officers. They're about to leave the scene because they think, okay, he's dead. Let's just call it in. You know, let's call it in. The corpse is missing. They're like, whoa, what? Duh, he's a vampire now. We as the anime fans already saw this coming in last episode, because we know what the mask is capable of. But again, these police officers, this is the first time they've even seen a damn vampire, let alone see a corpse missing. You know, so I mean, they're used to probably seeing corpse missing, but a vampire? No. So first you see Mr. Joyster's friend, which is the new head of police, I guess. His head's gone. He's dead. So sad. I mean, we barely even got any closure on who this guy really was. Then you see another police officer go down. Oh, it's just hilarious. I mean, I'm laughing because we saw this coming, but no one else did. All these police officers are getting slaughtered. And again, one of these other police officers that died gets reanimated into a vampire. So that's, yeah, kind of funny how this is working out, because now Dio, he's been reanimated, and he still has control over his humanity, it looks like. So he's tearing up everyone. And you see JoJo, I guess, he doesn't want to stand for this crap, so he takes a sword from one of the statues, one of his knight statues that's in the mansion, and he tries to defend off against this other vampire, which is now about to attack Speedwagon. He's been already hit once. I almost thought Speedwagon was going to die, but no, he's good. And again, this extra vampire is now dead. Dio, he's just going head on right into JoJo, and eventually JoJo's spear or sword, whatever he was holding, his weapon, it like broke slightly in half, and now it's in his shoulder. I was like, oh, don't get even, we're just getting started. He like ends up running away with Speedwagon, I guess, and he sets a trap for a Dio, which is now a vampire, and I guess he leaves a little blood trail, and then as soon as Dio opens up the curtains that they're hiding behind, lights the damn thing on fire. Like, he has one of those little candles in a lantern, and he just breaks it on the ground, and the whole place goes up in flames. So now the mansion's on fire, and he finds out, okay, flames on Dio is not going to work because it looks like he's immortal. Crap. I was like, oh yeah, light him on fire, that'll work. And then we find out, no, he can recreate his own flesh when it's being burnt. So he's kind of screwed there. But somehow he ends up kicking Speedwagon out of the mansion, and he comes up with his own plan. He's going to take Dio all the way up to the roof, let the building like build up more with flames, and then crash down and burn him alive if he can. Because he's hoping for his father's spirit to protect him, give him more strength, since now his dad's officially dead, which is kind of sad. Again, I thought his father might have had more of a role in this series, but wow, I was kind of shocked that he died really early in this series. But again, you see Speedwagon has now been pushed outside, and JoJo is climbing the rooftop, and Dio's following him, and they're having a one-on-one battle. And it's just, crazy because no matter what JoJo does, it's not phasing Dio, and we really want to see Dio dead right about now. And finally, you see JoJo pull the spike, or whatever that weapon is that's in his shoulder, out. And I guess you see him trying to battle Dio on the rooftop. No luck there. And Dio just puts the beatings on JoJo, and he goes crashing down into the roof. Because I guess Dio sees past this plan. He's like, just die, JoJo, just die. Falls down. Looks like JoJo's about to die. That little weapon he had that was like in his shoulder, somehow it's falling right next to him. I guess he jams it into the side, and he uses that weapon to jump off of, and he just jumps right back at Dio, and Dio didn't see this coming, but it was just a little short. But then he pulls out his buckle while he's falling, grabs onto Dio's leg, and pulls him down. So it looks like JoJo and Dio are about to, die. They're going crashing down, and the only thing you can really imagine right now that's going through JoJo's mind is, out of all these years she's been with Dio, they grew up to be pretty good friends, even though that was a lie, and he couldn't harm like an actual, like the real Dio, but now that Dio's a vampire, all bets are off. He's trying his hardest to defend his honor, but at the same time take revenge for his father's death. But they're crashing down, and it looks like they're about to die, and then I guess Dio's laughing like, yeah, this isn't going to kill me, I'm just going to re-energize, It's just burnt flesh, it'll grow back. And I'm like, crap. JoJo, you're screwed. Then you see something like a statue of Venus, and it's like a statue with a little spike in its hand. It crashes right in the chest of Dio. So now it looks like Dio's dead. But then also you see Speedwagon, I guess, might have rushed into the mansion. We don't know. We just know the building's on fire and it's raining outside. I'm assuming Speedwagon was about to save JoJo, but that's not really what happened. You see the next scene, you see JoJo's body outside of the mansion, just lands right there, and I guess Speedwagon's, he's a really good friend. He was like there to get the body, and you would assume that Dio is dead. That's where we were left off. So I was like, I felt a little relief that he might be dead. No. The last scene of this episode, going into the credits, which was kind of weird. Not a lot of anime keep going while past the credits. This one kept going. You see the Chinaman going for the stone mask, the one that made the poison, that also said he was going to testify, reaching in, grabbing the stone mask, and you see, now I'm assuming this is Dio because I know what the eyes were looking like. The eyes, I believe, belong to Dio. You see like a vampire's hand pop up and grab the Chinaman and suck him in. So Dio is alive. That's where we are left off, and JoJo's alive, Speedwagon is alive. That's the end of the episode. So, interesting episode. We got a little closure on Dio's father. Sadly, JoJo's father is now dead, as is his mansion's now burnt to the ground, presumably. And I believe all of the police officers have been slaughtered, so I don't know if the name of JoJo is going to be safe or not. I mean, is these deaths of these cops going to be on him, or were they able to file something against Dio? I'm a little iffy on like what's going to happen next. Final thoughts? I want to know more about who owned that stone mask prior to the Joyster residence. Like, how did JoJo's father get it? Also more on JoJo's mother, because we really don't know a lot about her. I don't know if there's a huge significance, but hopefully we'll find out later on. Dio, what's his next step? We don't know. Also on the preview, it looks like JoJo's girlfriend might be showing an appearance. Something to look forward to. That ends it for my final thoughts. Rating? I'm going to be generous, 4 to 5. Wasn't a lot of battle scenes that I was really glued onto, so. But a lot of closure on JoJo's father and Dio's father. That was an interesting story. As well as introduction of Speedwagon. I love that guy. He's a great add-on to the series. He definitely spices it up just a little bit. But again, 4 out of 5, and that ends it for my review and walkthrough of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Episode 2. Well, you know what time it is. I have to say it. Can't stop the access, but you can watch the feed. I'll see you later, guys.